Hi everyone. Okay, so it's the Lewis girls and we are back with another video, but this time it's a little bit more serious because it's about gun violence. Like, it's about guns and gun violence and stuff like that. We're gonna try to keep it short. So I'm just gonna give you guys a little bit of like history about guns, like where it came from or whatever, like how it was created, who created it, what it was created for, because that's like the most important part, what it was created for. Okay, so the gun, it wasn't created, it doesn't look how it looks now when it was first created. It was like a wooden thing, it was wooden. So I'm just gonna read a little bit about so it says, historians typically recognize Chinese fire lances, which were invented in the 10th century, as the first guns. These bamboo or metal tubes projected flames. So guns were specifically created for war. Okay, war. And another thing that I think guns should be used for is maybe self-defense. Like, if you're at home by yourself, you probably need a gun. If you live alone or whatever, and you're a female or male and you live alone, then maybe have a gun for protection. Or like if you're a girl, because a lot of girls nowadays, guys, especially in the nighttime, they get attacked, like when they're walking alone and stuff like that. A lot of girls are getting attacked. So have it for protection if you feel like you need it or whatever. Have it for self-defense. Like if you feel like somebody's coming to try to kill you, have it there for that. Don't use it for dumb shit like going around and trying to kill random people, or because you feel offended with what somebody said or how somebody looked at you or something. It's not for that. That's what we need to get clear. It's not for that. It's for self-defense, and it was specifically used for war.
You hear she?
Are you into war? Why do you have a gun?
Why you have a gun? Yeah. So with me, I'm just gonna start off with police, because we all know that police have guns on them, and their job, well, we will say, is to protect and to get criminals and put them in jail, okay? But we all know that police, not to say that police shouldn't have guns, because their job is to get the criminals. But at the same time, the police is doing the opposite, and they're mostly killing innocent people who don't have guns, which is mostly black people too. And they would think if a person, like a black person, has their hand in their pocket, not doing what the police says or something, whatever, if they're being stubborn, or put your hand behind your back, something, they would either do something violent.
Even when they have their hand behind their back,
yeah, exactly, they're still getting killed. There's a lot of American guys, black guys especially, getting killed from police, innocent too, for no reason. It's for the stupidest reasons. And for instance, me personally, I feel like the police should be in jail themselves sometimes, because they do the stupidest shit that they're not supposed to do, especially when it comes to black guys.
And they get away with it.
And they still have their jobs after that too. I say about police. And another thing I have to say about police, when it comes to white criminals, they would just say they have a mental illness.
And especially when it comes to mass shooters,
put them in jail.
They don't. One thing with mass shooters don't get killed unless they kill themselves. But if the police is there, they're not getting killed. I barely hear of any stories in it's mostly mass shootings only mostly happen in America. They don't really happen here in Toronto. I barely hear about it. I heard about, there was one recently, but the guy killed himself. But in America, mass shooters, they're either killing themselves, or that's the only way they end up dead, is if they kill themselves. I never really hear about police officers killing them. Police officers are always handcuffing them with their hands behind their back and putting them in the SWAT car or whatever. But let that be a black man. I don't want to sound racist or anything. I don't want to sound like I'm using the race card or bringing race into or anything. But come on, look at the news. Every time when a black man does something, he's dead. And the police is around, he's either ending up dead, beat up, some kind of shit like that. Let a white man go and shoot up a place or have a weapon in his hand. They'll give him a few warnings. If they see he ain't putting down, they probably might shoot him.
But even with the young guy who was in America, he shot up the church, was praying, hallelujah, praising the Lord, everything. He went and shot up I don't think he shot everybody,
but he shot He killed a few. I think
of them.
it was like 9 people that he killed.
And this was a black church too. And the kid is white, and they just arrested him and sent him to jail.
He killed innocent people.
And we all know that because it's on the news. Like, I'm pretty sure it's in America too, but here too, it's like, it's getting ridiculous.
Like a lot of the guys here, they feel like if they don't shoot somebody, they're not gangster enough, or they're trying to prove a point to their friends. They're trying to look cool. Like, what's taking somebody's life? How's that looking cool? Like, how? That's just stupid. That's some silly shit to me. Like, at the end of the day, you're taking somebody's life. That person could have had kids, parents. That could it's so silly. And and another thing with shootings, it's always the person who's doing the shooting. They barely ever hit the person that they target. They're always hitting somebody who's there, just like a random person, somebody who was just like at the wrong place at the wrong time, just chilling, living their life. Like it's kind of like when people who drink and drive, the person who drinks and does the driving, they know they're not supposed to do it, but they do it anyways, and they never end up dying, ever. Like I never ever on the news hear about somebody who's drinking and driving and they get in an accident and they end up dead. Rarely. It's always somebody innocent that they hit in another car that ends up dead, or somebody on the street that they hit or something like that.
Or they probably both die.
No, you barely ever hear the person who's drinking and driving die though. They're always alive and they barely get any time in prison. And it's kind of like these guys who are going around shooting up the place. The laws need to be a little bit more stricter when it comes to these guys, because I feel like a lot of these guys, they feel like they can get away with it because the judges or whatever is not giving people a lot of time in jail who go around and kill other people. Like, they're barely getting any time and they feel like, okay, well, if I'm not going to get any time, then I might as well go do this. I might not even get caught. And it's like,
yeah, why? Because even with her, when she's talking about, like, even for instance, drive-by shootings. Drive-by shootings are the worst shootings. Shootings, period, are the worst shootings. But drive-by shootings, in Toronto,
drive-by shootings, you definitely don't barely when you do a drive-by shooting, you're hitting who you want to hit, unless the person is standing unless you're a good shooter and the person is standing there and that's probably the only person that's there. But if it's that person and other people and you're doing a drive-by shooting, most likely the other people are gonna get hit along with the person that you're trying to shoot. And it's like, for what?
Because even in
Toronto, what do they do to you?
Yeah, even in Toronto, this lady, we all know, probably heard about it too. This lady had her kids, her 2 kids. I think one was 7, 8, and the other one was 11, in the park, playing, mind their own business, swinging on the swing, having their own little fun. Maybe she was at home, and the guys were doing a drive-by shooting by the park.
Because there's the guys, I guess the guys, the guy that they were trying to shoot at, he was somewhere around in the park.
And the guy instead of I don't know if the person who they're targeting got shot, but I know the kids in the park got shot.
And thank God they survived.
And they got. So just imagine if you are a parent or the person who's driving the people who shoot. If you're a parent, you would not want nobody shooting your kids for no reason.
Yeah, you're out here shooting up people's kids, and you. What about your child?
What about your child?
And we used to be when we were younger. We used to play in the park, and shit like that would never happen, ever. Everybody used to be in the park, chilling. Nowadays, you gotta be worried about sending your kid to a park. A park. That's where kids are supposed to be. Why are you running through a park from people who are drive-by shooting? Why are people drive-by shooting where kids are?
People need to think before they do stuff. So,
because what goes around comes around.
It's just
and
terrible.
you out here doing that stuff. There's a saying. There is a saying that you live by the gun, you die by the gun. Young kids nowadays acting like that too. It's like, why? Go to school. Go to school.
We need to stop putting the black kids. We need to stop showing these black kids that type of mentality and show them a different mentality, a positive. Like, you know, when your kid, for instance, like people who, not only people who live in the ghetto, but a lot of people who live in the ghetto and they have young children, we need to show them not to say we're not, but we need to show them a better type of vibe.
Especially
like, go to
men.
school. Exactly, go to school. Stop fighting your own race, because I know there's a lot of young girls out here, young guys out here fighting each other, like for who knows what. But it's like, stop showing your kids that type of mentality and show your kids another way of a mentality.
Exactly. I feel like a lot of these guys, like these, and I told my brother this too, like I feel like a lot of these young guys, maybe like in their late 20s, early 30s or late 30s or whatever, they need to be more mentors. Like, especially if you're doing good with your life, like if you're going to school, if you have a job, if you used to live in like the ghetto or whatever, if you used to live in a rough neighborhood, if you grew up rough or whatever, and now you're like living a good life, or not even like a good life, but like you're doing better than you were doing before. I feel like a lot of these guys need to talk to these younger guys that are out here and think that them being gangster and shooting up the place is a good way to live life. I feel like a lot of these young black guys, late 20s, early 30s, late 30s, I feel like they really need to sit down and mentor some of these young black guys, like in their teens, in their early 20s, even their late 20s, that think it's cool to go around shooting. I feel like they need to get mentored and they need to get talked to, because a lot of these teenagers out here, they don't look like they talk. They don't look like they talk to their parents. The only people that they look like they talk to are their friends, and their friends most likely are living the same kind of life, kind of reckless life that they're living, and I feel like they need to talk to more men, like men that would sit down with them and explain, like just explain these things to them.
Exactly. Like if you're a guy, because I know there's a lot of guys, especially who lived in the ghetto and they grew up in the ghetto and they're doing good with their life. Like if you're one of those guys and you know that you have like a good vibe, at least show other people. Like I know there's a lot of people who are doing that actually, who grew up in the ghetto and they show other people in the ghetto a better life, a better way of living. So like that kind of stuff is a better way to show these young black kids in the ghetto that there's another way that you could live.
Like there's a lot of people who live in these places and they're doing good. Like Ronnelle said, there's a lot of people that are living in these places and doing good for themselves. Like even to this day, that are still living in these places and they're not out here. They're just out here trying to live their life. And I feel like a lot of these guys, it's always like the guys who are out here trying to live their life, live their best life, who always end up getting killed. Like always.
Exactly. And I feel like if you, like I said from the other video, like if you have that if you grew up in the ghetto, or if you're still in the ghetto and you have those negative energy, like friends who are showing you negative energies, who just they always like, oh, why do you do bad with your life? Why don't you telling you bad stuff all the time?
What do you call it? What do you call it? What do you call those friends? Peer pressure. Peer freaking pressure. Like, oh, you're not a gangster if you don't go and kill this person and blah 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 blah. It's like, that's the kind of people that you need in your life, because they're gonna lead you down the wrong path. And at the end of the day, you might end up being the one buried 6 feet under, and they're still living their life.
Exactly. Just think about it before you. Just think about stuff before you do. If you have to look into your own self and find out who is sending you negative energy and who's sending you positive energy. The ones who are sending you negative energy, cut them off. Do what you want to do. They're not running your own. They're not running your life.
Question.
Oh yeah, and also, because we're talking about gun violence or whatever, underneath this video, like, leave a comment. And my question for you guys is, like, if the government bans gun violence, would it do good for the world, or would it do bad for the world? Bad guns. Like, would it do good for the world, or would it do bad for the world? What do you think? Give your comment, ideas, and let us know.
Yeah. But thank you for watching. Bye.